Aries Lending. Relationships last, transactions fade.
My name is Denise. I'm a registered nurse, and we live in Greystanes. This is my husband, James.
Yeah, so my name is James, as Denise said. I work as a senior credit analyst at a bank. And as Denise said, happily married, and we live in Greystanes. The communication had dried up with our previous broker. We'd had a couple of poor experiences when we'd referred other people to that particular broker. And we really wanted to look for someone who was like-minded to us, someone who was open, who was all about building a relationship, not just a sort of transaction or a one-off help, someone that could sort of Denise's point, really help us build a portfolio and build that financial freedom.
And at that time, we've just recently moved in this house, and we had an investment property as well elsewhere, an apartment, but we just felt stuck in terms of like what we wanted to sort of like keep growing and keep evolving and like property building, I guess. I think just having Pratik pretty much opened up some options that we didn't even think about at the time. I think it really helped. Yeah.
He doesn't purely talk just about numbers, especially in the first meeting. He told me, he's like, don't talk to me about numbers. Tell me about your goals and what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And through having that goals-based and that needs-based, a sort of discussion, he was really able to uncover Denise's point, the strategy around what we could work off, just using some very, very rough information that he got from us. But because he had that foundation, he had that knowledge of what we wanted to do, he was able to give us the options and guide us from there as well. I think we really felt empowered. Each time I speak to Pratik, I'm always amazed by what he comes up with from a strategy point of view.
Yeah.
He's a really, really deep strategic thinker. And he uncovers needs by asking questions, really, really detailed questions. But at the same time as asking those questions, he really puts you at ease and he gives you the options. You're always the one that's in control. But he really provides that encouragement and that empowerment to make sure that you follow through, reminding you always of that initial discussion that you had with him. And why you've set out in the first place to really achieve that, financial freedom.
Yeah. And I think for me, like one of the key takeaways from the previous like meetings that we've had with him is that he's really into like building relationships with his clients, and it's not just, transactions for him. He really also wants us to succeed with whatever goal we have set for ourselves.
I was very open with Pratik in saying that for our owner-occupied property, we were a little bit price conscious, meaning that we really, really wanted a good rate. He really went above and beyond to secure us that rate. I'm a staff member of a bank, and he really went and made sure that he got us the best deal. That also boosted our borrowing capacity when we went ahead with our next investment purchase. And because of the structure of those particular loans, we were able to secure a purchase above a price of what we thought that we could get. And
that's still a very decent and in a very good location as well. So
it's really poised for growth, and I think it all comes down to the fact that he's been able to structure the loans exactly the way that we wanted, and it's in a way that reduces risks for us as well. So we've got our owner-occupied loans. We've extracted a bit of equity from that particular owner-occupied property to then go purchase our investment. But it's reducing the risk against our owner-occupied loan as well. And that's really where his forte is in structuring those loans, keeping things in mind in terms of how he can obviously continue to build your wealth, build your portfolio. And I was a bit of a tough customer with him because I was from credit, so I had a very good understanding of what I wanted. I'm very risk averse.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes from my job, but Pratik was really able to explain to us, you've got this asset here that you can use to, generate further wealth. And while sure you're taking a short-term risk, it's a longer-term gain. And he was really able to explain the benefits and the risks, but also explain to us how we can mitigate some of those risks as well, which made us comfortable with taking the decision to invest.
And of course, because Pratik has worked with other investors as well, he knows what's up in the market and how smart investors are doing to obviously help themselves get ahead. So I think the advices that he's given us are things that he has observed other people, other investors are doing.
The thing that I really love with Pratik as well is he has an extensive network of contacts. So for our purchase that we recently completed through Pratik, it was in Queensland. Obviously, because we're interstate investors, we did hire a buyer's agent, and that came from a recommendation from Pratik as well. He put us in contact with that particular buyer's agent. The buyer's agent was extremely helpful, and everything settled on time, and it's because of his help and also the buyer's agent help in terms of delivering that one. But it was a very seamless experience.
Very seamless.
They worked together, and it was probably the easiest purchase that I've ever been through.
Yeah, considering we've had a few tries.
Yeah.
Dealing with real estate, I think that was definitely one of the best experiences we've had.
There's a lot of different banks out there, and they all have their own lending policies. When I've spoken to Pratik in the past about various different lenders or what options we might have, he's always able to break that down into simple language that somebody even like me can understand.
Yeah.
I might know about one bank very well, but different banks, I definitely am not across all of the detail. But for him, he's really across the detail. He's able to explain it really, really simply in very limited jargon. And it really gives you and instills confidence that he is making the best decision for you. And he will always come back to you if there is anything that he's not aware of or sort of doesn't know, and provide that sort of clarity, so you can always make the best decision for yourself as well.
Or he gets back to you, for example, if you need some time to look into the issue, for example. And yeah, I completely agree. Being a lay person, like I don't work for the bank, I don't understand a number of their terminologies. It's the same as he wouldn't understand medical jargon. But I think when we met up with Pratik, it just made it clear for me even to understand and to comprehend what he plans us to do to meet the goal that we've set up.
When we met Pratik, I have gone through a sale, a purchase, a refinance sort of with him. And
that's been probably in the last like 5 months.
Correct.
Within the last 5 months, anyway.
And we're getting ready for our next purchase shortly as well. It wasn't something that I think either of us necessarily had planned, that we would meet as sort of Pratik and that he would have such a profound influence on us. But the reality is we can see the benefits of his work. Everything has gone incredibly smoothly for a sale, our purchase, and our refinance. And we've been able to achieve our goals, which is ultimately what we set out to do. It gives us the opportunity for financial freedom, which ultimately allows us to spend more time doing the things that we enjoy. We still work hard, but we know that within the future it will definitely pay dividends by taking that risk. And we're incredibly grateful that we've got Pratik on the journey. Always love receiving his gifts every time you settle a purchase or settle a refinance as a way to say thank you. It's the little things with Pratik that make all the difference. He won't tell you what he's got planned, but he's always got something in store, whether it be to solve a problem or to surprise you with something. And he really, really adds a personal touch to his service, which makes all the difference into the future as well.
Like, we haven't seen a financial advisor, but I do find sometimes Pratik also becomes our financial advisor in that sense. Like, I do think he's very smart, he's very switched on, and he just wants what's best for us too. So yeah, I think longer term it's definitely, it will work in our advantage, just passing and making those sacrifices now, so that longer term we'll have that financial freedom that we're aspiring for.
We know that he's always in our corner though.
Yeah.
A bank only has their suite of products, right? Which they will try to offer you, and ultimately they're in the business of trying to better their own situation, because they are a business. With Pratik, he's a broker, which means that he can take you to any bank that he wishes, as long as they're within his panel. And he's got a large volume of lenders that he is able to refer applications through to. Bearing in mind that different clients have different needs, and perhaps one bank might not fit their criteria. And that's why having a broker in your side is such a powerful tool, because to Denise's point, they can really strategize, they can really deliver something that is really tailored to you, where one bank will only fit into a certain sort of criteria. It gives Pratik the ability to be able to take you where you need to go to be able to achieve those financial goals.
Yeah, and he's definitely done a lot of the legwork in terms of allowing us to get really good rates from our home loans and investment loans, for example, which we would not have had the time to do ourselves, considering we've got full-time work and all, family obligations. So he's definitely come in at the time wherein, it just allowed us to really see what's out there, given the time that we had.
I'll let Denise answer first, but
I feel like, and I'm not this is like a general character. I feel like he's like a friend's wingman for someone who's like a person who's trying to win someone's heart, for example. I feel like he's the wingman, because he sort of helps you and supports you get the girl or get the guy kind of thing. So I think
kind of like Joey from Friends.
Yeah.
How you doing? No, I think for me, Pratik, it's kind of like Joey from Friends, actually. If I could use that as an example. He is the kind of guy that you can talk finance with, but he'll talk to anyone. I've spoken with him about my life on a personal front.
Fitness goals.
He will always share, his own insights and what he's been through, and he really gives you the backstory. I'll never forget sitting in the cafe in the first meeting. He was talking to me about how much weight he had lost, and here I was having a massive meal of pasta that was full of carbs. But he's the kind of guy that he's just really down to earth, and it's just more he really wants to get to know you on a deeper level. He's funny, always up for a chat, up for a laugh, very much like Joey from Friends. The opportunities out there are endless, right? If you choose to go with a bank, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but that bank will only be looking at its own products, right? If you go with a broker, the opportunities really are endless. Like I said before, if something isn't working, you can change it very, very easily. They've got a huge network of connections, especially Pratik, who he can refer you to if he isn't able to resolve an issue. And he will be with you every step of the way. He wants to see your family grow. He wants to see your investments grow. He will open opportunities and possibilities that you never saw even possible. At the end of the day, when I started this journey with him, I had no intention of selling my property. But through one meeting, one conversation, he was able to unlock and empower me to actually make that decision and stop sitting on the fence. When I turned up to that meeting, I was sitting on the fence as to if I wanted to sell or not. And he said to me, James, what are you waiting for, right? The best time to invest is yesterday, and the second best time to invest is today. So for anyone that is sitting on the fence, a broker will really be able to help you uncover what it is that you have from a goals perspective, and they will be able to strategize and really delve very deeply into what it is that you want to achieve and how you can get there.
For me, I guess getting to know the market and getting to know how property works, it can be quite nerve-wracking, especially if you don't have the understanding or you don't have the background of what goes behind building that portfolio, for example. But I think having someone in your corner that will help sort of guide through along the way really matters a lot. And for our experience with Pratik, for example, he's been that person for us. So we're very grateful for the advices and pretty much the help that he's given us, because we would not have been able to actually take the leap of faith and trust the process, and also see how the process has actually made us get into a better position that we are now.
Book your complimentary call today. Aries Lending. Relationships last. Transactions fade.